Is the NFL about to witness the most shocking and nostalgic reunion in recent memory? Could the Miami Dolphins be on the verge of making a move that sends shockwaves across the league, potentially sending their $90 million speedster, the Cheetah, himself, Tyreek Hill, back to the very team he helped turn into a dynasty? Hold on to your hats, Dolphins and Chiefs fans, because the rumors aren't just swirling anymore. They're forming a Category 5 hurricane of speculation that suggests Tyreek Hill could be headed back to Kansas City, reuniting with Patrick Mahomes for what could be an epic last dance Super Bowl run. This isn't just a wild fantasy, it's a trade prediction that's gaining serious traction, and if it happens, it would redefine the landscape of the entire NFL. Let's be brutally honest about the situation in Miami. The Dolphins, despite their undeniable talent, have been battling a growing storm of concerns around their locker room culture. For the past few years, this organization has struggled with a reputation for instability. And unfortunately, Tyreek Hill has found himself at the epicenter of that turbulence. Last season, the whispers turned into a roar when Hill made it abundantly clear he wasn't happy and even expressed a desire to leave Miami. That alone was a seismic event, but the aftershocks are still being felt. The tension reached a boiling point just weeks ago when quarterback Tua Tagovailoa, in an unprecedented public statement, essentially told his star receiver that he needed to earn back the trust of his teammates. Tua didn't mince words, stating, "It's not just with me, it's with a lot of guys. I'm not the only one that heard it. You guys aren't the only people that heard it. A lot of people that follow football, that follow the Miami Dolphins, that follow Tyreek, that are fans of his, they all saw it." So when you say something like that, you just can't come back with a "my bad." You have to rebuild that relationship. You have to earn everything back again. That was a bombshell. A quarterback publicly challenging his top weapon is almost unheard of in today's NFL, and it immediately signaled that the internal issues in Miami were far more severe than anyone outside the organization truly understood. While Hill has since tried to project an image of maturity and renewed commitment to the Dolphins, attempting to mend fences and lead by example, the damage may already be done. The trust, once broken, is incredibly difficult to fully repair, especially when the stakes are as high as they are in the cutthroat world of professional football. And that's precisely why other teams are not just watching, but actively monitoring Hill's situation. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler recently revealed, "I've talked to some teams that are at least monitoring his future a little bit. Could he be a trade target? Now I know the Dolphins earlier this summer told some teams, no, we're not trading Tyreek Hill. But the question is, will he be available? It might just be a wish. Maybe they want him to be available." That last line from Fowler is crucial. Maybe they want him to be available. It suggests that despite public denials, the Dolphins front office might be quietly open to the idea of moving Hill if the right offer comes along, especially if the locker room dynamics continue to be a concern. When a team's culture is in question, drastic measures sometimes become necessary, and trading a superstar, even one with Hill's talent, could be seen as a way to reset the locker room and reestablish a clear hierarchy. Now, let's dive into the truly electrifying part of this prediction. One of the most talked about trade ideas would send Tyreek Hill back to where he became a legend, the Kansas City Chiefs. In return, the Dolphins would receive wide receiver Hollywood Brown. This isn't just a hypothetical scenario. It's a concept that Andrew Buller-Russ of Sportsnaut has put forth, and it makes a surprising amount of sense for both sides. From the Chiefs' perspective, they've invested heavily in the wide receiver position, boasting a talented group that includes Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy as key pieces for the future. While they certainly have depth, the idea of reuniting Patrick Mahomes with Tyreek Hill is almost too tempting to ignore. Buller-Russ suggests that the Chiefs might feel comfortable including Hollywood Brown in a trade if it means bringing back the player who helped them win their first Super Bowl with Mahomes at the helm. Imagine the sheer offensive firepower. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Tyreek Hill all back on the same field, terrorizing defenses once again. This isn't just a reunion. It's a potential last dance for a trio that once seemed unstoppable. With Travis Kelce reportedly nearing the end of his illustrious career, bringing Hill back could provide Mahomes with one final explosive weapon to chase another Super Bowl title before Kelce hangs up his cleats. The thought of that old band getting back together for one more tour is enough to send shivers down the spine of every defensive coordinator in the league. Hill, with his 95 career touchdowns and unparalleled speed, would immediately elevate an already potent Chiefs offense to stratospheric levels. If he can maintain his focus and commitment, a big if given the recent drama, this deal could make Kansas City's attack even more dangerous than it was during their initial dynasty. Run! The chemistry between Mahomes and Hill was legendary, built on years of practice and game day heroics. Re-establishing that connection would likely be far quicker and more seamless than building a new one with a different receiver. For the Dolphins, while losing a player of Hill's caliber would be a tough pill to swallow, acquiring Hollywood Brown would provide a talented, albeit different, receiving threat. Brown is a proven deep threat with excellent speed and route running ability, and he could slot into Miami's offense, potentially alleviating some of the cap pressure and locker room concerns. More importantly, it would signal a clear direction for the franchise, prioritizing team chemistry and long-term stability over the short-term flash of a disgruntled superstar. Tyreek Hill is 31 years old, and while he still possesses elite speed, his recent dip below 1,000 receiving yards for the first time since 2019, especially when Tua was injured, raises questions about his long-term consistency and dependency on a specific quarterback. Trading him now, while his value is still incredibly high, could be a shrewd move for Miami to acquire assets and build for the future, rather than holding on to a player whose contract and age could become liabilities down the road. This potential trade isn't just about player movement, it's about a narrative. It's about a superstar returning home to finish what he started, a quarterback getting his favorite weapon back, and a legendary tight end making one last push for glory. It's the kind of story that captivates the entire sports world. The NFL season is just around the corner, and the Dolphins' performance in the opening weeks will be under an intense microscope. If the cultural issues persist, if the offense struggles, and if Hill's commitment remains a question mark, then this trade prediction could quickly shift from rumor to reality. The Chiefs, always looking for an edge, would be foolish not to. Explore this opportunity if it truly presents itself. So, what do you think, football fanatics? Does the idea of Tyreek Hill reuniting with Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce for one final Super Bowl push excite you? Or do you believe the Dolphins should hold on to their star receiver at all costs? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're ready for the NFL to deliver this kind of blockbuster drama, then smash that like button and subscribe for more in-depth analysis.